If you do a Google search of the name George Mueller, you'll learn of a man who fed 300 children and saved an orphanage from shutting down through one simple but one very neglected act. Want to know what that is? Principle number 6 coming up now. What up, Saints? Richard here, and we finally made it to principle number 6. Check it out. I'm going to be putting out more series videos, and so if you like this series, you're definitely going to enjoy what's to come. So make sure you hit that subscribe button, make sure you hit that like button, make sure you hit that notification button so that you can stay up to date. Let's talk about principle number 6. How important is it that we remain active and exercise? How long would you be able to live without food, water, or air? These are obvious necessities for the body, but there's also a necessity for the soul. Harnessing prayer power. See, George Mueller ran this orphanage and he understood the power of prayer. He understood what it meant to harness prayer power in his everyday life. So much so that when the house mother of the orphanage expressed to him that there was no food in the cupboard, he still had them to get dressed and to sit at the table. And sure enough, after thanking God for his abundant blessing at an empty table, there was a knock at the door, and there was a milkman and a baker. Now, this sounds like something that you would never believe, but it actually happened. And they brought enough food for all the children to eat. In the Christian experience, prayer is probably one of the most neglected things that we have, but it is the most powerful weapon that we have for our souls. Without it, we cannot make it through the day. Last week, I talked about seeking God first, but if we're not in constant communication with God throughout the day, we are destined to fall short of any and every goal that we have. The Apostle Paul said this: "Rejoice always, pray without ceasing, and give thanks to God in everything." Now, when he said to pray without ceasing, he wasn't saying to walk around eyes closed, head bowed. Now, that would just be ridiculous. Instead, Paul is suggesting that we have the acknowledgement of God's presence in our life every second that we're breathing. If we were to pray without ceasing or acknowledge God's presence in our everyday life, we would be able to resist any temptation that the enemy throws at us. We would be able to express the fruits of the Spirit towards everybody. We will be able to express God's love for humanity. Without God's presence, we're left to decide for ourselves. We're left to our own minds. We are left to having to react the way we would want to react. And if some of us were to be honest, there's a lot of people that don't want us to react that way. We need to acknowledge God's presence each and every day. With his presence, we are strengthened. With his presence, we are a blessing. With his presence, we are blessed. How's your prayer life? I want to challenge you to acknowledge God's presence and to listen for his voice and watch how he changes everything about you and the perspective that you have on this world. I'm Richard. This is the New Wineskin Project. Peace.